Have you ever walked into a public bathroom and then looked up and realized suddenly that you were the only person of your gender in the entire room? Every eye is on you. You feel this overwhelming sense of dread, and you are the other. Now imagine in that moment where time has almost stopped, it's almost standing still, and you are the most alone and afraid, if a little voice piped up in the back of your head and said, "Now give a speech." So why am I here? Well, I come from a long line of women. My mother was a woman. I have 6 sisters, 16 nieces and nephews. I have a wife and a mother-in-law. I am a lonely dot of testosterone floating in a sea of estrogen. But that is not why I'm here. I am here because I am a father of 2 little girls. And it's my job as a dad to try and make the world a slightly better place for them. Now, I just told you that I'm raising 2 little girls, and that is the truth. But it's not the whole truth. I'm not just raising little girls. I'm raising superheroes. This is my daughter Anya as Big Barda, warrior maiden born in the fire pits of apocalypse. And this is her younger sister Stella Grace as Captain Marvel, a member of the Avengers and the Earth's mightiest hero. My girls love superheroes. They're internet famous at this point. If we go to a comic book convention, there are people that will seek my kids out just to get their photos taken with them. And they are not fake geek girls. They're the real deal. They voraciously devour comic books. They go and see every superhero movie. They love the cartoons. And my wife and I love the fact that our girls love superheroes because we compare it to what we find in the toy aisle at the store, which is princess culture. Princesses wait to be rescued. Superheroes rescue themselves and other people. Princesses project unattainable beauty. Superheroes teach girls that it's okay to be different. Princesses reinforce a very narrow version of femininity. Superheroes tell girls that they can be more. Now, I want to stop here for a minute because I love this picture. This is a little girl imitating the new Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. She's a Muslim American superhero, the first Muslim female superhero to ever get her own comic book. And how is she imitating her? How is she doing that? She's doing a superhero pose. She's got a wide stance, hands on the hips, acting like a superhero. Harvard researchers have actually studied this. And if you pose in an open stance, like a superhero, there are actually measurable positive effects. If you pose like a superhero for just 2 minutes, your power hormone testosterone rises by 8%. If you pose like a superhero for just 2 minutes, your stress hormone, cortisol, drops by 25%. And most importantly, if you pose like a superhero for just 2 minutes, you will find yourself more likely to take a risk. So pretending to be a superhero, even in a small and insignificant way, makes us act more like a superhero in real life. Now, my daughter, Anya, when she was in 1st grade, she came home from school one day and she was crying. The kids at school had picked on her because she wore her Spider-Man t-shirt. And superheroes are for boys. She got over it. And in fact, that Halloween, she said, "Daddy, I want to be the Huntress, protector of Gotham." It was the first year that we did one of those elaborate costumes. But it made me a little sad. Superheroes at this point are mass market entertainment. Movies like The Avengers and the X-Men make millions of dollars, and people of both genders enjoy them. Television shows like Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or The Flash or Arrow are again enjoyed by people of both genders. The comic books themselves have never been more diverse. Miss Marvel here, a Pakistani female Muslim superhero, was the #1 selling graphic novel for October. The Justice League has Wonder Woman and Hawkgirl in it. The Avengers have Captain Marvel, Spider-Woman, and Black Widow. And the X-Men, the current team of X-Men right now, does not have any men. It's a full female team. So, where do our kids get the idea that superheroes are just for boys? This summer, I took the girls and my wife, we went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy. Did anybody see that one? Not enough of you. You guys got to get out there and do that. Guardians of the Galaxy is a fantastic movie. It was the highest grossing movie of the year, and 44% of the audience for that movie was female. Almost half. That's pretty significant. And the girls really fell in love with Gamora, the most dangerous woman in the universe. They loved this character, played by Zoe Saldana, and they wanted an action figure. So we went to Target and looked for a Gamora action figure. We actually made a video documenting that experience, and I'm going to play a small clip for you now. All right. Now, that Wonder Woman action figure was the only female superhero in the entire store. And you had to buy 6 male heroes and pay $50 for the privilege of owning her. Now, if you were a careful observer, you may have noticed that they have color-coded the aisles in the toy department at Target. Every aisle is either pink for girls or blue for boys. Boys get cars. Girls get dolls. Boys get Transformers. Girls get ponies. Boys get superheroes. Girls get Barbie. There are no gender-neutral aisle of toys in Target for older kids. None. Researchers at UC Davis have studied this, and they say that toys are more heavily gendered right now than they have ever been in modern human history. The divide between pink and blue is as great as it has ever been. We can't find superheroes easily for our girls. So why not just give them a Barbie doll? We like Barbie, right? This is a question that has been asked and answered, actually, in the scientific journal Sex Roles, just this past March. They said they gave girls 3 different dolls to play with. The first is fashion model Barbie, dressed in a nice, clingy dress. The second was Dr. Barbie, sensible jeans and a lab coat. The third I didn't know Barbie was going to get such a good reaction. The third was Mrs. Potato Head. Now, they let the kids play with these dolls for just 2 minutes, and then they gave them a survey. And they said, here are 11 different careers. Out of these 11 different careers, what do you think you could be when you grow up? Now, if they played with fashion doll Barbie, the girls thought, I can be a teacher, or a librarian, or a flight attendant. These are what we call pink-collar jobs. They are jobs that are associated with 2 things, women and low pay. But When we put Barbie, get her out of the dress, put her in some practical, professional clothing, what do you think happened then? Anybody? Nothing. They still thought she could be a teacher, or they could be a teacher, a librarian, or a flight attendant. It was only when they played with Mrs. Potato Head that girls suddenly thought, I can be a firefighter, or a pilot, or a police officer. Even when we dress her up in empowering clothing, there is something about Barbie that limits girls' imaginations and tells them that they are capable of less than boys. I mean, we don't fully understand it. This research I'm showing you right here came out in March. This is brand new. But it's one of the reasons my wife and I are so happy that our girls like superheroes. Segregating by gender, heavily enforced, rigid gender norms are bad for girls. It tells them to obsess over their physical beauty. It tells them they aren't capable of as much as boys. And it tells them, most importantly, that they're not the hero of their own life story. They're a side character. But what about boys? Do rigidly enforced gender norms hurt boys too? I drive a carpool with a couple boys. I take them with the girls. They're the same age as my kids. They're great kids. They're really good friends to my girls. They play together all the time. And this past winter, I was driving home in the carpool, and my daughter Stella, my youngest, said, Daddy, I would like to listen to the Frozen soundtrack. So I put in the Frozen soundtrack. And the reaction from the boys was immediate, and it was violent. No! I hate that song. You guys don't like Frozen? No, it sucks. It's the worst movie ever. Oh, gee, I really liked it. What didn't you like about it? Well, we haven't seen it. Now, it was clear, after talking to the boys for just a couple of moments, that the reason they thought Frozen sucked was because Frozen stars girls, and being a girl is a bad thing. Now, boys are always told that they're the hero of their story. Their toys do not subtly undercut their confidence, but it denies them something even more important: empathy. I am not a woman. I'll never be Japanese. I'll never be a child soldier fighting in the Sudan. But I can empathize with all of those people because I know a little bit about their stories. Reading stories featuring people that are different than yourself, watching movies about people that are different than yourselves, allows you to see the world from their point of view, and it teaches us how to empathize with other people. And we don't ask little boys to do it. So I'm in my carpool. The boys don't want to listen to the music, but I felt I needed to show them that listening to a song sung by a princess does not mean that you want to be a princess. That's not the point. So I rolled down the windows of the car, cranked the volume up, and I sang Let It Go all the way home. Now, this is the world that we have created for our kids, one that is highly segregated, pink and blue. But it doesn't have to be that way. In the UK, there is this great organization, Let Toys Be Toys, and they successfully lobbied Toys R Us to remove every single sign in the store that said boy or girl. They're just toys. This campaign was so successful, it actually spread to numerous other major retailers in the UK. So we can make the world a better place for our kids if we try. So let's go back to the beginning. Why am I here today? Well, I am here because I need to tell my girls there is nothing wrong if they like something that society says is for boys. I am here because I have a responsibility as a man to show boys there is nothing shameful in a man doing a role that is normally filled by a woman. I am here because all of us together have to show our kids that gender lines are not walls. They are meant to be crossed. I am here because putting yourself in a woman's shoes does not make you less of a man. It makes you more of a person. Thank you.